Who can tell me what this picture is of? Does anybody know? Nobody knows? This is a picture of the water cycle. And when you're looking online, and if you decide to Google water cycle, you'll see a lot of different pictures. I like this one because it had color and it labeled and it showed you exactly what was going to happen. And the only thing that's not on this picture that I think you'll see on other pictures is down here it says accumulation, which is another vocabulary word in the water cycle that you need to know. So there's really no place to start because as you can see, it's a circle. So we're just going to start with the water. The book's going to start with the water, so we're going to start here too. Water is taken from soil, lakes, and oceans, and it's, soaked up according, depending on the sun and the heat. It soaks up the water, and it's called evaporation. When the water forms clouds, that's called condensation. After the clouds are made and formed, water droplets are, moved around and made bigger. Then they turn into precipitation, which also is considered rain, sometimes snow depending on colder weather. And then the precipitation goes back into the lakes and the oceans, or, the snow off of the mountains gets, down into the lake after it's melted off, and that's the surface runoff from the mountains goes into the lakes and the ocean, and then it starts all over again. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. Down here would be the accumulation, where all the water accumulates just to start back into the evaporation process. I have another picture that I wanted to show you that's similar. It has different vocabulary words, and it shows you the same picture, the same concept, just a different way. Okay, here's the other picture that I wanted to show you. As you can tell, it has everything that the other picture has, except for here's the accumulation, which the other picture did not have. This one is also set up differently to where in the other picture, evaporation was over here, condensation, and then this one's set up differently. It shows evaporation right here, and then it goes up to condensation, which clouds form, and then it turns into precipitation. This picture also has from the trees a transpiration going up to condensation. I didn't choose this picture first because I wanted to show you guys that evaporation is not only coming from the water, which is the only source that this one shows. It also comes from the soil and oceans and lakes. But this also shows that transpiration is coming from the trees up to form condensation, which then forms precipitation. Same thing happens, like I said earlier. If it's colder weather, then you're going to get snow. If it's warmer weather, then you'll get rain. And either way, the precipitation, snow or rain, will end up into a runoff back and accumulate here and then start in the evaporation. So now that I've kind of shown you just a few of the vocabulary words that you'll be seeing in the book, I want to show you where you're going to go and the book that you're going to read, which has pictures and stuff. You're going to read this individually on your iPad. And then once you're done, I'll just kind of discuss from there what you're going to do after you're done. But let me go ahead and show you where you're going to find the book and the book that you're going to read. Okay, so here I am. I'm on Story Jumper on my computer. You guys are actually going to be using your iPads and your Chromebooks. So on Story Jumper, you're going to get into the search box and type The Water Cycle by Bailey. Let's see. The Water Cycle by Bailey. And it pops up right here. You're going to click on it. And then you're not going to buy it, you're going to read the book. So then it'll flip open, and if you click this arrow, it'll take you to the end of the book. So instead of clicking the arrow on the side, you want to be sure that you tap on the page, and you're just going to read through this book. It's got some pictures to show you with some words. Understand that this is not a book made by an author who made money. This is a book that was obviously probably made by a child, but it just kind of narrows it up and summarizes the information that you need to know. Some of the information that we're not yet ready to talk about would be the vapor or the gas. And then some of these words you'll come across, like whimsical wind are harder words. And so if you just get stuck on something and you don't understand, feel free to ask me. Just know that you're going to read this on your own. This isn't going to be something that you're reading with a partner. This is simply something that you do all by yourself. At the end of the book, it has a really cool, I've showed you this, she doesn't use the vocabulary words that I've given you, which is evaporation, condensation, precipitation. But I know that we've discussed it, and I know that you can understand that water that comes from the ground that goes into the clouds, this is the evaporation process. Water in the clouds get formed into rain clouds is a condensation. From the rain clouds to the ground is precipitation, and then this is the accumulation. And I know that you know that what this process is, and we'll be discussing this process so you'll understand it more later. But that's why I touched on it before you read, because I wanted you to know the vocabulary terms that you were going to see in this book. Okay? So after you're done reading this book, and that's the end, it does say there's a video right here, but you do not have to watch this video. Okay? I'm going to show you the worksheet that you're going to do after you're done reading this book, and you're going to go to your desk, or after you're done, you'll be at your desk, but after you're done reading, you can just start on the assignment that I've given you. So let me show you what that page looks like. Okay, this is the page that you guys are going to be working on. I know that this one's a little blurry, but the one that I'm going to hand out to you is not. I've already printed them out for you. This is a water cycle cut and paste, meaning that you're going to cut these words out and you're going to paste them in the other little boxes. The instructions on this page say, look at the diagram below, cut out the words on the bottom of the page and glue them into the empty boxes to complete the diagram. You are not going to glue until I have okayed it. I want you to show me what you've done. You're going to cut these out, place them where you think they go, and then when you're done, just raise your hand and I'll come around and I'll make sure that you've got them in the right spot. And if they're not in the right spot, then we'll just kind of talk through it and figure out which one goes where. Once I've okayed it, you can then glue the words down. Remember, just a dot, not a lot. Then you're going to color the picture and make it look really pretty. Transpiration, I know that I've said this word. It was in one of our pictures that we showed. I'll keep the picture on the board, and if you need help, I'll come around. I just want you to try to figure out where the words go on their own. So I think once you put these in the right spot, transpiration can easily be put where it needs to be. So you shouldn't need help, but if you do, you know where I'm at, and I'm willing to help you. So here's the assignment that you're going to do. Once you've completed this assignment, you're going to go back onto the iPad and we're going to play a game. Let me show you where to go or what game to play for that. Let me show you. Here I am. I'm on turtlediary.com. Once you get to the website, you're going to click here and you're going to type you're going to come up here and type the water cycle games. Once it loads, it'll look like this, and you're going to click the first one. I know it says for second grade. There's one down here that says first grade, so just be sure that you click the one that says for second grade. You're going to come in here, and once you push play, it'll read you a paragraph. Just know that you don't have to listen to it. The paragraph doesn't have closed captions, so if you feel like you just are not able to understand it, that's okay. We've talked about it. You've read about it. We've shown pictures. That's okay. So you're going to click play.
Hi, kids. Next. Label the diagram of the water cycle.
Notice that I clicked next because I didn't want to have to listen to that passage. So now it tells me to label the diagram of the water cycle. Notice that it does say out loud what you need to do. So just be sure that your iPad or your Chromebook is not too loud. I'm going to show you what it does if your answer is wrong. It's not going to, make a big deal about it. But if I click a word, it's going to read me the word aloud. And then when I put it where I think, if it's in the incorrect spot, it'll completely move the word. So I'm going to go with the first word that says snow. And I'm going to move it somewhere where I think it might go.
Snow.
Said the word, and now I don't have to hold it. I can just maneuver it. I don't have to hold down my pen or anything. And then I put it here, and I click. And it just sends it right back up there to show me that that's not where it goes. Then I'm going to, click it again and put it actually where it goes.
Snow.
It goes right here.
Snow is made up of small, soft, white pieces of ice that fall from the sky and cover the ground.
It gives you a little description of each word. So once you've done this and you go next, it's going to read you a sentence and you're going to fill in the blank. And then it'll reread the sentence with the words in the blank. Let me show you.
Click on the correct answer. What are small, soft, white pieces of ice that...
I would have clicked the wrong one. Let me show you what it does. It doesn't reread it. It just turns this one red to show you that it's wrong. So when I go and click the right one,
The small, soft, white pieces of ice that fall from the sky are called snow. The process by which water from rivers, lakes, and oceans changes from liquid to gas is called...
and you're just going to go through this, okay? If you're done and you finish and you see that everybody around you is still working, you are more than welcome to come and take the quiz down here. Notice that this quiz says grade 2. This quiz over here says 3, 4, and 5. So if you click this one, just know that it's probably going to be a little bit harder, okay? So once you're done with this, I know that you've finished your assignment, your paper assignment that I've printed out and given you, your cut and paste. Now you're done. You're done playing games. You're going to go and do a reading comprehension on this website called Jefferson Lab. And I actually have it pulled up on all the iPads. It's in a tab, so if you need help getting to it, I'm more than happy to help you. So here, you're going to read this passage. The blank evaporates blank from lakes and oceans. So you're just going to take your best guess. The moon evaporates blank. The sun evaporates blank. And you're going to just evaporates fish, oceans, rain, or water. So the sun takes water from lakes and oceans. As the air rises, it cools. The water vapor condenses into tiny droplets of... And so now you're just going to go and as you're reading them, you're filling them out. I want to show you what it looks like after you're done, what it looks like for the answers that you've gotten wrong. It does not allow you to do it again. So once you've, okay, let's see, I've finished it. I want to check my answers. Anything in blue is the right one. If it doesn't have red next to it, then, if it doesn't have red next to it, it will tell you, then you got that right. So, but if it does, it tells you what you answered. I answered rain. The correct word was cloud. I answered cloud. The correct word was ground. And it tells you, same thing down here. So if I click new passage, see, I've got a 38, and that's not good. I want you to at least get a 70 before you do a new passage. But if I click it, it takes me to a whole list. We're not going to work on anything else other than the water cycle. If you've gotten at least a 70, I'm okay if you go into the water cycle number 2. So say you've gotten it wrong and you want to try it again. It's black because you've been there. You're going to click on it again and start all over. It's the same passage, or you can clear passage here. Okay? So once you're done with that, then you're going to turn in your iPads and your Chromebooks, and you're going to wait, because once you're done, we're all going to work on this activity. It's called the water cycle bag. We're going to monitor our own water cycle. You're going to create a hypothesis that tells me what you think is going to happen. It's not something that we're going to be able to complete today. You're going to have to look at it tomorrow, and we're just going to have to come back. You're going to draw what it looks like today. You're going to draw what it looks like tomorrow. We're going to answer some questions just to kind of give you an idea of what the water cycle actually looks like. And then you can manipulate it a little bit. Okay, so we'll do this as a class. You'll each have your own bag and cup and water. But I do want to do this. I don't want to start this until we're all ready to go. Okay, any questions? All right, you're going to go ahead and go to Story Jumper. I'm going to leave this up on the screen so you know what the book looks like and what to type in. After you read the book, remember you need to go back to your desk and start the paper before you actually go on and start playing games, okay? All right, any questions? All right, you can go.